Welcome back. So we are here on episode 18. So last episode I did, why I believe 9 to 5 can still build you wealth. Because a lot of people kind of say 9 to 5s aren't as cool, whatever the case may be. But, the last video I gave facts on why 9 to 5s can still actually build you wealth. Now we're going to talk about the entrepreneurial side. So that's what this video is going to be about, the entrepreneurial side, more kind of personal experiences, what I've learned, what I experienced throughout the past couple of years. We've had our business for about 5-6 years now. So it's been a lot of learning, a lot of time, a lot of research, a lot of sacrifices, which we'll get all through in the video. A couple updates going back to 9 to 5 next week. So, kind of excited for that. This past couple months away have been amazing, actually, to kind of say the least. Actually has been a really good time. So, but 9 to 5 also, I'm trying to look at the more positive than bad, I would say, because now I do have a routine I'm able to build. I like my job. I like the people I work with. So, it's not really that big of a deal for me. I get to use the gym, get going back to my normal diet, things like that. So I'm definitely ready for that. Business update. So on our website now at kaiswicks.com, we do have car scents now available, and we have our bundles available. So you get 2 miles for $6, and then you get 2 car scents for $8. So holiday season here. So that's going to be one of my next videos too, is spending during the holiday season. I found some interesting facts that I just want to share. So just something that I want to get out, something I want to share, because I thought it was just really interesting to see. So that's going to be one of my upcoming videos. So this is going to be a long video, so we're going to go ahead and get started when we're going to start on the entrepreneurial side.
Disclaimer: the information provided on this podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be considered as financial advice. We are not licensed financial professionals, and any opinions shared are based on personal experiences and research. As always, do your own due diligence and consult with a certified financial advisor or professional before making any investment decisions.
Before even getting started, there's a few things that you have to understand, and one of them is really this is not a hobby, right? So this is not something that you can pick up and put down. This is not something that you'll just say, oh, I'll get to it too whenever you want. Like if you want to procrastinate, this may not be something for you, right? Because this is something that you have to build constantly. So it's almost a everyday thing essentially. So even with our business, I check on business things basically daily, right? So when I'm looking through, that's even with the books. Like a lot of people, they push aside that you still have to, do your accounting part of the business come tax time, right? So we'll get into all that a little later, but you just need to understand this is not a hobby, and there's going to be sacrifices that comes with this. So what kind of sacrifices you may say, like miss dinners. You may not be able to go out with your friends some nights because you have to prep and get ready for, whatever event that you have or whatever big thing that you have. You can't travel when you want to early on. I mean, you can technically travel as much as you want, but the more time you take away from the business is the less rewarding you're going to get out of it. So, that's going to be really the time for you to just be locked in. Now, you can still travel, but you may not be able to take 3 to 4 trips a year. You might be able to take 1 or 2, but you just got to kind of make those 2 trips really matter, right? And then you'll get to the point where you can start taking more trips, right? That's kind of the purpose of it, is that hopefully, down the road, it starts to get a little bit easier when it comes to, the time that you can take away because you're scaling and hopefully you're building. And then you're bringing in more people, having a team. Late nights. So what I mean by late nights is not going out late night, but actually staying up late night. Finishing what you need to finish, working on what you need to work on, your design, your product, like your website, whatever it may be. Longer work days and weeks. And what I mean by that is you're going to be working, throughout the night as well. Some nights, not like overnight, but maybe you'll get off your 9 to 5 and maybe you'll be up until like 11, 12, maybe 1 before you have to get up for work the next day. And weekends, you're going to, be locked in on some weekends as well, whether that's going to vendor events. If you're a vendor, weekends are a very hot spot. A lot of people get out. A lot of people go shop, especially during like the fall season. If you're a vendor trying to go just on weekdays, you're most likely going to limit your potential. So that, you're going to have to work some weekends. You're going to have to do consistent research, and you're going to have to really invest into not only the business but in yourself as well. This is going to be the time where you're going to build skills over time that you can then add to your business to help your business grow. Kind of in my last video, I also mentioned, if you're at 9 to 5, maybe you have a network that can help your business grow, like whatever the case may be. So the most overlooked part, in my opinion, that I see is like people keeping up with the books. Accounting will save you thousands of dollars. Like, you can still keep up with the books and then get a professional to help you, track your books and, come tax time, right? So you got to spend money to make money. So you can have programs maybe like QuickBooks that can help you go ahead and keep track of, your finances throughout the year. So one major thing that you'll really hear me say throughout this video is time, because, time is everything. Time is one thing that we literally cannot get back. So if you really want to grow your business, you're going to have to put time and dedication into your business. Just like anything else in life, whatever you put into it is exactly what you're going to get out of it. All right, so now let's talk about getting started. First thing first, you need to have no noise, no distractions, no toxicity, and a circle that believes in you, whether that's family, your day ones, or your network. That alone is going to be very important. And you're going to have, everyone has life situations. Life's going to happen. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, when I'm watching, these CEOs speak, and I'm watching, the sacrifices that they talk about, one of the thing is like, the biggest thing is no noise. And what they mean by no noise is they're not going to let, the media get to them. They're not going to let other people get to them. They're not going to let people tell them what they're doing or their vision's not good enough. Right? So no noise, no distractions, and no toxicity. Right? So that's the thing. You need to be genuinely happy in everything, every aspect, to help fuel your business, because your business with a 9 to 5 on top of a family is very draining, right? And that's going to take a lot out of you. So that's why you need to have a clear mind and a healthy mind to understand that, life's going to happen, things going to happen, but I just need to block out things that I really can't control, because at the end of the day, I'm not trying to care about something I can't control, because I generally cannot control the outcome of that. I can't control what happens in DC. I can't control what happens outside my house. I can't control certain aspects of life. So I just need to focus on and lock in on what I can control and build off of that. So one thing that helps me block out the noise is like when I'm at work, if I'm doing my videos, if I'm, doing something with the business, I'll put myself in D&D on my phone, and I'll put my phone down. So people already know that if you most likely want to get a hold of me, you're probably going to have to call me, because if you text me, I may not text back. And that's nothing like personal. It's just like, I'll look at it, I'll say I'll get to it, and then once I go to get to it, I just never get to it, if that makes sense. So, it's only because, if I pick up my phone 5 minutes at a time, 10 minutes at a time, that starts to add up. You pick your phone up 6 times throughout the day at 10 minutes, that's an hour gone already. So that's why I put my phone on D&D, because it helps me stay focused in what I'm trying to accomplish. And then once I get done accomplishing that, that'll free up more time for me to go reply back if I remember, because honestly, I'm probably not going to. It's just a really bad habit of mine. But you need to understand that, running the business, in my eyes, is the second most difficult thing I've done outside of being a parent. Because the sacrifice, the time, the effort that goes into it, the money that you have to put into it. So like, you'll hear people say, or you see videos say, oh, you can start a business up of as low as X amount of dollars. You can do this, you can do that, for a very low amount, which is generally true. You can do it for a low amount, but yeah, can you open it? Sure. Can you operate it? Probably not. Right? So that's the thing. So you have to understand that you're going to need some cash to the side when you're getting started, because yeah, you can open the business. Yeah, sure. You can register and everything. You can get it open, but you're not operating a business without no funds. So before anything, that's why you need to do your research, right? So, and I'm just saying this based on personal experience, right? So when you do your research, you need to, look into your industry. You need to look into the admin work aside of running a business. You need to, look at your competitors. Like whoever your competitor going to be, you need to look into the big competitors, the mom and pops, and the online stores. Like you need to look at all three and base your prices off of that. Because you want to compete, so you're gonna have to be. You can't have your prices too low because you won't generate money back into the business. You can't have your prices too high because people may not buy into that compared to what people are selling in your industry. So that's something that you need to understand. And on top of that, you need to research your skills. The more skills you have, the less that you have to pay other people to do it. Now, I do believe in order to have a successful business, at some point you need to have a team. You do need to build some type of team in order to help you grow your business. But that doesn't mean that you can't learn a little bit of everything. So that way you're just not fully blindsided when it comes to like your taxes or things like that. And what I mean by that is, let's just say you have a professional say, you can write this off, but you have no idea. Me personally, I'm the type of person that wants to know the why. Why can I write it off? How can I write it off? Because now I can take that knowledge and apply it down the road. Or I can take that knowledge and say, hey, this is, something my accountant did or, my professional did for me come tax time, to another vendor and kind of help them out, spread the word. We all want to, at the end of the day, make money. At the end of the day, in order to do that, you're going to have a team. You're going to have to help each other. And again, you got to understand the admin side of running a small business. And what that is, like, do you even know that in order to even get started, you have to check your state's website to operate out that business name that you picked? So let's put it this way. Let's just say you start like a side hustle. You pick a really cool name, that name sticks and that name grows, right? But you don't have it registered. Now you're like, okay, let me go ahead and get that registered. You check the website and that name's already taken. Now the whole base that you built, you're going to have to operate under a different name within that state because you can't have a business in a state with the same names. Do you have an EIN number? Do you know what an EIN number is? Do you know how to attain the EIN number? Do you know how to register your business through your Secretary of State's website? Do you understand small business taxes? Again, you don't have to be a professional at it. You don't have to be a guru at it. It's just like, understand the process of it, right? Understanding little bits and pieces of it. So again, you're not fully blindsided. Do you understand your state fees? Do you understand your annual renewal costs for your business? Per state, it varies per state. So if you're opening up in California, it may be different than opening up in New York. And that's going to be different opening up in Delaware. So you need to, again, do your research. And that also goes through what your state allows and even some programs that your state may have, because you'll be very surprised on what some states may offer. Do you have a business plan formed? Do you have business insurance? Because if you don't think you need business insurance, I promise you, if you're selling like a product or something like that, I will definitely recommend getting a business insurance for every business. Because again, insurance is one of those things, like, I don't know why I'm paying for it until you need it. So again, this goes part of doing your research. There's a lot more research that goes into this than just what you're trying to sell, what you're trying to make, or what content that you're trying to push, like whatever the case may be. Like if you're trying to be legit about this and you really trying to scale and build, these are the things that you're going to have to understand. Do you understand that you may need licenses, certificates, certifications, certain fees that you're going to have to pay yearly, depending on your business type? These are things that, again, you need to look into and understand. Yes, you can open up your business with X amount of dollars, but can you operate your business with that amount? No. You're going to have some cash put aside. And you may want to invest into a P.O. box. So, I'm pretty sure if you go through the Postal Service, they do the P.O. box. They'll charge you like every 3 months. But it's nice to have a P.O. box. So if someone needs to send you something, someone needs to send in mail, I don't have to give you my personal address. I can just give you my P.O. box and go check my P.O. box. All right, so like I said, this video, it's going to be a longer video, but I just feel like the information is important. Now we're going to talk about some of the financial benefits of being an entrepreneur. Now, there's a lot of financial benefits that you can take from it. These are just some general ones that I found. Again, you want to do your own research. You want to get you a professional. someone who specializes in small businesses to really help you, save money come tax time and further your knowledge when it comes to the admin side of things. But a couple things that people don't know about that you can do as an entrepreneur is you can actually open up what's called a solo 401k. So again, I'm not a financial advisor. These are just things that I found. So if you are interested in this, you probably want to get a professional to really help you understand this. But from what I found is this is best for entrepreneurs with no employees or maybe just a spouse. So you can make contributions as both the employee and the employer, which can lead to higher contribution limits than the traditional IRA. You can still open up an IRA, a traditional IRA, and put money through that as well. All this is actually right on the IRS's website. So I'll drop a link below. And it's like retirement plans for self-employed people, and it gives you a few options. So again, you just have to take your time to do your research and find these things. All this I literally found through Google and the IRS website. And really with this too, this can make you feel like building your own vision and investing into your business for future situations. It gives you a sense of pride too, because it makes you feel as if like I can actually do this, especially once you start seeing some results off of your hard work paying off. The sense of pride that you get with this, it's going to make you want to continue building. So it's good to invest not only to your business now, but also within the future of the business. So again, getting you like a CPA or a financial advisor who specializes in small businesses. You have to pay them monthly, or you have to pay them whatever their fees are. But this can really save you money still, because the amount of money that you're going to pay them, you'll probably save within your taxes, if not more, for what they can help you write off and things of that nature. So now doing that saves you money. You can take that money you save. Now you can fuel your solo 401k. You can fuel your IRA. If you feel like you're ready to scale, you can test your new products, right? So you can go ahead and get stuff to test your new products because you want to add more to your inventory, which is completely understandable, right? So at some point, businesses who thrive eventually add and scale. And, you need to take your time because you don't want to scale too fast. But understanding that, scaling or investing into your business does take that cash. And that's a quick way to get cash back into your pockets by the tax that you save. So I was also doing some research here, and some common deductions that you can research. Again, it's all right off the IRS website. I literally just spent 15 minutes on the IRS website, and I found what we call a standard mile rate deduction. So basically, you have to use your car for 100% business purposes, charity purposes, medical purposes, or even moving purposes. Again, all on the IRS website. So what I found was you could do 70 cents a mile that you can write off as a self-employed business, 14 cents a mile for a charity event. So if you're someone who is like nonprofit, who does a lot of charity work, you can actually write off mileage for those charity events. And if you're like a traveling nurse or something like that, and you're in the medical field, you can write off 21 cents a mile for medical travel. And you're like, Nick, didn't you say moving purposes? Actually, this is something that I found it was interesting. It's only if you're military. But if you're military, you actually can write off 21 cents a mile for moving. And again, if you don't believe me, this is all right on the IRS website. Like, this is all right on the website under deductions. Another thing that I found that you can deduct is home office space. So this area, again, has to be used for 100% business purposes, and you have to operate your business out your house. But if it's 100% business purpose and you operate out your house, you can actually deduct $5 per square foot that you use up to 300 square feet. So the total deduction would be up to $1,500. But again, you have to use it 100% for business purposes. Same thing with your phone. So if you have a work phone, strictly for like business purposes or work purposes, something you can write off as well. Travel expenses. So this is a little bit more tricky, but again, it is a very common way to write off travel expenses. So if you travel, Look for something that you could do traveling that's like for business purposes. Again, it has to be for strictly business purposes, but you can write off 100% of that trip, right? So again, this is where it comes to doing your research, getting someone who is a professional in small business taxes that can actually tell you how to legally write off your travel expenses. And again, these are just common deductions I found over time and just by sitting down and doing some research. Do your own research on what best fits your business, because at the end of the day, every business is going to be different, and everyone's vision for their business is going to be different. The Money Guys show, good place to go. These guys, they really break it down per like the dollar, per the numbers. This is a channel that I've been watching for about 2 years now, so something that I do really like to tune into because they are really knowledgeable when it comes to taxes. And again, you don't have to be a tax guru in all this, but I just believe that you want to just understand and just do your research on what you're writing off, what forms you have to file, what you're filing, because you don't want to go into something like this blindly, and it just gives you a better sense of comfort that you feel like, if an audit were to come, you'd be completely fine. All right, so to close this out, things I learned personally. Before we get there, I do just want to say that, when it comes to meeting your goals and building your wealth, that is subject to what you want to do, right? If $1 million ain't your goal, that's not your goal. But you at least want to, set yourself up for the future. So at least you have something, because your dollar now is not going to be the same dollar down the road. All right. So again, personal things I learned. Number one, before filing, to see if you want to see if the business name is available in your state, how I mentioned earlier in the video. You also want to learn about your Secretary of State website, because there's more likely going to be a portal that you're going to need to sign into. And if you're like an LLC or corporation or whatever, you're most likely going to access that portal a few times a year. You want to set up your EIN number first through the IRS website. Again, the irs.gov website has a lot of information when it comes to small businesses. You'll need to do this before you even file through your state. You're going to have to get your EIN because your state's going to ask for it. My best advice is if you want to pay LegalZoom to set up your LLC, corporation, whatever, it's your pockets. I would just say take the time, do the research, fill out the paperwork, then ask questions that you need while filling out the paperwork after you do your research. Because the filing to open the business isn't necessarily hard. It's just really nerve-wracking. It's time-consuming. But I mean, again, filing it's all kind of filling out paperwork at the doctor's. It's your information, so you should kind of already know all this information when you go to file. It's just time-consuming and nerve-wracking because it's something big. It's a big leap that you're doing. But LegalZoom, they'll charge you a few $100s you can take and save and put it back into your pocket and put it into your business. You don't have to just come out with $400 for something you can do on your own. And the reason why I say this is because how I keep saying through the video, especially early on, and from these books I read, from the reels I've seen, cash is going to be the most important thing early on. Don't underestimate the value of cash on hand for small businesses. This is going to keep your business alive early on, because you're going to have to keep funneling cash through until you build up that egg nest. So, the value of cash, don't underestimate that. Avoid overspending and scaling too fast. I know we talked about scaling, but hear me out. You want to build a budget. Yes, you need to build a budget for both your personal and business expenses. If you're not good at budgeting personally, I would get in the habit of doing that before opening any business. Because if you don't have a budget for your business, the fees that you pay for your business compared to some subscriptions you pay for in your personal life, night and day. You will lose a lot of money and you will go underwater quick if you don't have a budget set aside for your business. Again, accounting. You want to have your books tight. You can use a platform like QuickBooks. Again, you can get you a professional. These are things that you want to look into. Having a business savings and checking account. Honestly, I would have a couple. I would have two business checkings if they're free. So again, you gotta do your research to see what what banks, what credit unions, whatever have free accounts. Maybe you get two checking accounts, one for your business bills, and again, that's how I say with your personal, one for your bills, one for your spending if you do need to spend, and a couple savings accounts. Maybe you want to have a general savings for the business. If you're real estate, maybe you want to have a couple different savings for like bigger. You want maybe bigger fixes around the house, smaller fixes around the house. Maybe you want to buy another property so you can have different savings and automate maybe your rent allocation. Maybe you do like 5% in these savings accounts and then the rest will go into your checking, like something like that. And also having that, you can have a savings for taxes, because you're going to have to file taxes. So maybe you put some money to aside. So just in case you do have to come out of pocket, depending on X amount of taxes, at least you have a nice little egg nest that you could put towards those taxes. Stay organized. So, staying organized is key. Keeping your files tight. Keeping your office space tight. Keeping your office things organized. Staying organized saves a lot of time. You want to build efficient systems as you grow your business, because the more efficiency that you have, the more time that you'll be able to take and put back into other things into your business that you feel like you need to build upon. Watch for bots and scams. If it's too good to be true, don't click on it and don't fall for it, right? So if it's too good to be true, don't click on it and don't fall for it. AI, the bots, social media, there's a lot of, things out there that sounds nice. But if you're IMing me and the first thing you say is, hey, I love your product, I would love to scale your business and things like that, like, I don't even know you, and you just talking about you want to just get my business information to help me scale, like, I'm perfectly comfortable what I'm doing right now, between, what I have going on in life and how the business is operating. The business is running on its own. Like, I don't really need you to help me scale, and I don't even know who you are. You're just this random page hitting me up, right? Don't fall for those. Do your research. If you want to build your team, you want to do your research. Even if you go into a partnership, even if you get an accountant, you get a lawyer, you get a CPA, do your research on said person, because you want to get a vibe for this person. Listen, this is your business, right? This is your money. This is your product. This is your vision that you're putting into. You don't want to hand that information just to anyone. And you don't want to take advice just from anyone, including me. How I said, the information I gave in this video, take that and you can do your own research and apply it to what you have, right? So just don't take my word for everything without just doing your research, because that's just setting you up for failure. My business model, my vision may not be your business model, may not be your vision. Be open-minded. So again, you still want to at least learn, but you want to learn for those who are credible, and you want to learn for those who share the similar vision that you do. You need to understand that being open-minded comes with sacrifice. There will be times that, I do want a game and I just don't have the time to, because I do X, Y, and Z. There will be times where, I do want to watch like a night football game. I may, watch the night game, but I may also have my laptop with me, because I got to do research for the podcast. I got to do research for the business, and I got to make sure the business books are up to date. Get out in your community. So if you want your community to invest into you, you got to invest into it. It doesn't always have to be with a dollar. It could just be out of the kindness of your heart, right? Well, that's donating to shelters. Well, that's donating clothes, like whatever the case may be. Getting out into your community, showing that you will pay into your community. You'll probably get a lot back from your community. Again, you got to spend money to make money. That's one thing that I learned throughout this. If you have financial trauma, that's going to hold your business back more than actually scale it. Understand that, people may not understand your vision. Those who are close to you, family, loved ones, whatever, right? Your friends. In the moment, does it hurt? It does, because they don't really understand what you're trying to do, but mission that you have. But you truly have to understand you're not doing it for their validation. You're doing it because you feel like this is your mission. This is what you want to do. You don't have to validate what you want to do to others all the time. They don't put in the time. They don't put in the homework. They don't put in the preparation. They don't put in the finance. finances that you put into it. So they won't understand it. It's not meant for them to understand. It's meant for you to understand. It's meant for you to build. And that's one thing people do. Don't try to make everyone happy, right? You can't make everyone happy. This is your business. This is your name. This is your title. So you have to understand that going in. If someone doesn't understand it, just that use that as motivation. Feel that. Say, I'm gonna prove you wrong. I'm gonna really show you wrong, right? So use that to motivate yourself. Another thing, utilize AI. I know AI is scary. I know it's a hot topic right now. If you use Canva, you use AI all the time. If you use these other platforms, you use AI all the time. If you're in your 9 to 5s, you're probably seeing AI coming, right? So AI is a scary thing only if you make it scary. You have to understand that AI will free up so much time that you can do into other avenues within your business or scale for another business or give time back to your family. Don't forget that, you need to, have your family there. You still need to have your family. You still need to do things with your friends, right? That's very important. And I promise you, like a lot of AI tools that are coming out it'll free you up so much time. You want to think of a caption, that caption that you would take, 15 minutes to think of, throw in an AI, it'll take you about 5 minutes. Now do that over time, that's going to start really saving in the minutes. Those 5-10 minutes, they add up over the course of a month, a week, a year. Like those minutes really start to add up. And lastly, just being mentally prepared, like understanding that, this is a journey, it's a roller coaster. It's not a sprint, this is a marathon. You're going to have so many up and downs. You're going to have spike months, down months. You're going to have months where you don't make sales. You may have months where if you're, brick and mortar, where your foot traffic dips. You may have months where your foot traffic increases, right? You have to weather the storm. Right? Think about it. Ice cream stands, holiday stores, fireworks. During certain times of the year, their business is booming. Other times of the year, not so much, right? So you have to kind of understand that as you grow your business. Not every day, not every week, not every month, not every year is going to be successful. But what can you learn from that and apply it to your next year? Because I promise you, one thing you want to do is go at your pace, right? You don't want to scale too fast. Scaling too fast, you may actually lose money. So you kind of want to go on your pace. Don't give up. That's the number one thing. Don't give up. Again, these are all personal experiences. Do not give up because life happens and everyone's situation is different. We get that. But if you're true to this and this is something that you want to build and you feel like this is your mission in life that God gave you, don't give up. Because you're going to get knocked down. You're going to get knocked down. Just in personal life, you're going to get knocked down. And there's going to be many times where you're going to have failures, but there's going to be many times where you have wins as well. You need to understand that. If you get knocked down, take some time back, kind of reevaluate everything, but don't stay down. Like that's the one thing you do. You don't want to stay down because you want to understand your mission and you want to stay true to your why by this. It's not going to be easy. If it was easy, everyone would be able to do it. That's the thing. It's not going to be easy. And that's why it's so rewarding when you see things pay off, especially if you've been a vendor, especially you've been a small business owner, especially you've been through, economic changes, economic downturns. Those really do have impacts on small businesses. You don't believe me? Go look up statistics about COVID with small businesses. And again, still give back to your family and friends. Again, none of this you're going to do is going to be alone. And yeah, you want to push to build your legacy. But for me, like being present is also very important. And, being the one that, you're going to rely on for me to be there. Like that's also important for me too, when it comes to my inner circle of my family. So, you can still build, but don't get so deeply lost in the work that you take away so many years being with your family. Some people may value other things, but that's just kind of what I value. And lastly, yeah, there's a range with it, how I was mentioning earlier. But don't let people determine the value of your product or your service. Yeah, you want to be reasonable about the price, your fees, whatever. But many consumers, they only see the product. They don't see the time. They don't see the effort. They don't see the dedication. They don't see the sacrifices on the back end, right? You know your worth and stick to your worth. Do not let someone else dictate what you should sell your products for or what you should sell your services for because of the work and sacrifices that you had to put in order to make this a success. So that's the last thing I'll give you. So again, this is just a quick overview on just some interesting facts that I found. If you want to get deeper into what you can save, deeper into the financial statistics about it, I advise you to get with a professional that specializes in small businesses. Again, thank you for the love and support for the channel, and I hope everyone enjoy the rest of their day.